Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to MTG Arena. Today is Wednesday, November 6th, and apparently Oko Thief of Crowns is now banned in Brawl. This is a new announcement screen, and I half suspect that it's actually glitched here because it's a little weird that you would do just this. Like, why not have a background image of something instead of just gray? Why not make the text a little bit more centered and a little bit more large? There really is no reason to assume that some notification at some point is going to be so big and so large that it's going to take the entirety of this band. What's funny here is here we have a much better looking notification, which really this could only mean, and this would be stupid, but it really can only mean that there is no consistent programming here to program this. And so when they needed to make a quick announcement, they couldn't just use this system, or they didn't use this system because they didn't know how to use something they'd already programmed. I mean, it literally in the code would be like a function, so you would just type in alert parentheses quotation mark Oko the Thief is now banned from Brawl, period, end quotation, if you want to put a period there, in parentheses, and depending on the language, maybe a semicolon at the end. That's literally the line of text that it should have been to have that happen. And the alert function would have been a pre-programmed function already. It clearly has already been programmed. I messed up here, so I'm gonna have to re-roll something. Actually, it's not seemingly letting me re-roll anything. Let's see. Why can I not re-roll anything? Like, my hover is working, but I don't... But the click is not working, by the looks of it. That click works. This click doesn't. So, I don't know why I would have 2 daily quests, and I couldn't re-roll anything. It seems like the game seems a little iffy. We already played this, and so that got our profile to bronze tier. And so for the rest of the 23 days of this month and this season, we're not really gonna try it. We're gonna try and build up our gold and not do anything else. The more gold I have for the next expansion, because like we looked out with Throne of Eldraine, and just as I started, Throne of Eldraine came out. But I'm thinking potentially 6 to 9 months from now is what I think I saw. Throne of Eldraine will be no longer the new expansion, and some new expansion will come out, and we'll want to open a lot more packs at that point and have grinded up. So we had done we were doing these in order, white and then a green. We did black, white, and green, and new decks. So that should put us with a red deck. But what I want to do is create a new deck that I'm just going to call base. So I'm going to make this a standard deck, and then I'm going to filter to only multicolored, and maybe, what does this button do? This is combo colored. Alright, so multicolored cards. So what I want to do here is start with a base of what cards I would consider possibly having to start a deck with. Because there are always these multicolored cards that I think I want. Now, there really aren't enough of these to make your own straight deck. I could probably throw everything I have in here, and then that would maybe get up to 60, but I don't think that's a realistic move. Let's see. Yeah. So that's pretty much it there. So we're going to save this, and we're going to name this as the base. Base. I guess we'll call it the base starter. That way we can be a little bit more descriptive. Then what I can do is I can just clone this deck, and then I guess I could at that point, well, here's the problem. If I clone from the base starter, then I'm not building off of this deck, so that doesn't really work. So that was kind of a waste of time. Yeah, the copy and paste part of this, like, there's no way to come over here and copy these. So, a best case scenario, I could say maybe export that to the clipboard, then clone this, and then import. That just makes a new imported deck, so that doesn't work either. So yeah, the base starter doesn't even matter. Do I really need 2 notifications? Let's see. Ooh, how are we calling these? Just 1.1? Is that what we were doing? Yeah. Okay. So edit this deck then. Alright. We are starting with the 25 mountains. So that's gonna be a problem. So let's start simplistically with just the land. And adjust strategies here. Alright, so we could, if you control a mountain, this ender's tapped. That's not too useful. If you control 3 or more mountains, you get 1/1 dwarf, which might be worth it because then it lets you get rid of some 1/1 creatures. So we'll put these 4 in here. See, we have a gain 1 life here option. We have a gain 1 life here option. We have a gain 1 life here. All these cards that are multicolored kind of play the same thing. We have like 2 different versions of the same card here. And then this might be a smart move, but probably not. Because that's really just a deck destruction strategy. Yeah, I don't think those are particularly great. So then, I guess what our goal will be is we want things that aren't land, and let's see. We want to look and see what we've got here. Well, I guess we want to start here, don't we? Because that's where we would start anyways. So we could think, do we want Ginger Brute for a red deck, which would be mostly about dealing damage? At least that's been the strategy up till now on this deck. Probably not going to have a lot of flying creatures. I kind of need to look at the red cards I have and see what strategy I'm going to build. I still feel like the Heraldic Banner is still one of the best cards you can get. I could put that in the field. So this is effectively what the base was. It's just now I'm doing it differently. For red cards, our creatures would gain trample and haste till the end of the turn, which is probably not that useful. It would almost be better to have 1 black card so you could regain 5 health. Alright. Take control of a creature. First strike haste. It's probably not a bad card to have. Goblin Barret gets +2 until the end of the turn. First strike. Amass 1. An army you control. So this would very much be something that has an army in the name, which I don't think that I would have anything with army in the name. So, but this isn't a terrible card. An instant buff. It's not terrible. Destroys an artifact that does 3 damage. This does more damage. 1 damage to each player every time it's tapped. As a defender, might be a consideration. The fire decks are usually very aggro. Let's see. Whenever you activate the loyalty ability of Chandra's Phase Walker, you may pay 1 life. If you do, copy that ability. You may choose new targets. I've seen somebody use this I don't know if I have Chandra though. So you'd have to figure out. Probably don't have it because if we look here, these are alphabetical. So if there was a Chandra Planeswalker card, we could probably just go into crafting mode and figure that out too pretty easily. Where would it be? Where is that? Where's that card? I wonder if it's banned. We've yet to run into the large amount of banned cards yet. So like that's the thing that's going to really drive people crazy. Is when we start to see a rotation happen and significant numbers of cards just become banned. Although maybe for Arena and maybe for Wizards of the Coast, they finally learned their lesson on that, and the ban list is going to be a lot more reasonable. This Pioneer mode, for instance, does seem like it is a attempt to not just ban everything like they used to. And I really can't be fair if I'm holding Wizards of the Coast accountable for actions that they took 15-20 years ago when I was playing Magic the first time, compared to while being completely ignorant about what they are doing recently. 3 damage to a Planeswalker might not be a bad card. I wish it was more of a let's see, 7 Dwarves cards. So theoretically I could have a whole bunch of 7 Dwarves. So what's funny is this has an infinite symbol when it should probably not say unlimited, it should say 7. It should just have an X times 7, and they haven't made that animation. So yeah, there is a possibility Wizards of the Coast has gotten better, and particularly with the Pioneer format and with Arena, they might have gotten better. On the other hand, there's an argument I think that could be made that they haven't learned anything at all, because it seems like they've already rotated the entire beta into out of standard. Let's see. Damage can't be prevented this turn. Deals 2 damage to any target. It's not a bad card. This is not a bad card. None of these are bad because I kind of like the idea of aggro in general. We just need some synergy. Like, we need something that see this, if I had 4 of these, to 2 plus the number of, so 2, then 3, then 4, then 6. Seems like if you had something that synergized with goblins, then you could make a goblin deck. Merchant of Vale. Maybe that's a good card. It's a fancy card because of something I did, I'm sure. What's the value of double strike though? Skewer. Four damage. So I already have 4 of these. +1/+1 and double strike until the end of the turn. That's not a bad card. 1/1 counters, not really worth it. That's not super useful, because at most you're going to have 2 opponents in most gameplay styles. There's a lot of references to opponents, but opponents just, because you don't play doubles in Arena, it's not programmed to be done yet. You're not going to have more than 2, maybe 3 opponents, the hero and however many planeswalkers there are. Copy that ability twice. You'd have to have a lot of extra mana to do this. And giving something double strike and then double strike again probably doesn't evolve into you attacking 4 times. Creatures without flying can't block this turn. I think those are actually pretty good cards. Destroying someone's land and stopping them from blocking. Yep, this is another case where it very possibly is going to take an hour just to build the deck. Let's see. The text gets smaller, not bigger when you right click it. Gain control of all creatures until the end of the turn. Untap them, they gain haste until the end of the turn. But to get that to work, you would have to have the 9 health, I think. I don't think you can just sacrifice 9 health and kill your planeswalker, even if it has only 5 health. So that's kind of an unlikely to activate planeswalker card. This is probably not terrible. That's not bad. Let's see. So then the question will start coming down to, is there any secondary ability cards that would synergize with this and point me to want to get away from playing just a pure red? Here you have a planeswalker that draw a card then discard a card, or give a target creature +2/+0 and first strike and trample until the end of the turn, and then draw your hand really large, I suppose. I would never play that, because if you're playing aggro, a red-blue almost are counter intuitive, because blues are all about scrying and drawing a lot of times, and red is about playing cards fast. So this feels like this would be a silly choice. Let's see. Whenever you draw a card, deal 1 damage to any target. Whenever the player casts an instant sorcerer spells, draw a card. That probably wouldn't be terrible if you were going to do red-blue. But I really can't wrap my head around the concept of a red-blue deck yet. See, draw a bunch of cards and do damage. So I don't see anything there to make me want to play with a red-blue. So Carnage is not too bad, so a red-black might be something here. Deals 1 damage. Sacrifice a creature or an artifact. That's relatively cheap. A lot of this is direct damage, so a red-black does feel like something that might be useful. During that turn of your opponent's life, this turn you may play. I think that's probably the right move. So, is to do a red-black deck. Let's look at the red-greens first and see if there's something else that would make sense. What we're still looking for, though, is something that would synergize with dealing damage to a creature or dealing damage to an opponent. And I don't really see that yet. It feels like in a lot of these combo color decks, the red is the afterthought because it's just aggro, it's just doing extra damage, and the other color styles of play is the real thing that they're focused on, at least with the cards that I have right now. I really don't need to look at the lands, do I? 3 damage and gain life. A red-white might make sense, actually, because then you're doing healing to yourself and damage to your opponent, which would be a nice one to punch. There's an additional combat phase followed by an... So you get to attack twice For 5 mana. Interesting. That's a cool card. So let's go with the red-black strategy, and then we'll think about it. So that, and then definitely that, 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 and then that, and that. So then the question becomes, what aggro black spells do we want to put into this now red-black deck? Let's see. Because we're probably not going to try to have too many black lands. So, yeah. And the funny thing about this is the way this is all going to play. I assume I don't just lifelink things. The way this is all going to play is not ever going to be significantly different until we open a bunch of new packs, until we have completely different cards. And I guess maybe that is where the rotation might be useful if you are a mid-tier not free-to-player or a high-tier free-to-player who has a lot of gold. Like, if every rotation to people who have gotten bored with the new cards seems like a good thing, that makes sense, but I guess it really is going to boil down to how much of this becomes like how much of the core set stays the same, and how much of the core set do you have? Let's see. Looking for things that would do direct damage. Creates food tokens, and then you could sacrifice a food token for a player to lose 3 life, which is probably not worth it, because I'd probably die before you could activate it, and it would still be an expensive mana cost of 3 mana to summon it, and then 2 mana to sacrifice it, so 5 mana in total. There we go. Baked into the pie, I think are probably pretty good. This is not a bad one. Still not really seeing anything that buffs, though. Actually, this might be very good. I'd have to look at Theater of Horrors. Like, yeah, actually that's great with Mayhem Devil. It's not a bad card. Probably won't play with that one. That might be something. I like this card, but it's not likely that that's what we want to play. I obviously have an affinity for black cards, because I'm trying here to turn this red deck into a black deck. And that's not really gonna work. And then these multicolored cards I don't think I really need to look at, because the only ones I would need to look at would be here, and we had already looked at them. So we're at 133. We're at 133 cards right now. So, and a big amount of that would have to also be land. So let's go back and filter some of this. So we need a swamp, probably like 15 swamps to start with, and we need the special card here. So we're gonna take Fabled Passage and Evolving Wild. That way we can get rid of at least 10 mountains. And we're going to stick with red-black cards. So we'll get rid of everything else, and then have the maxed of Bloodfell Caves. And then we might make an argument to get rid of Dwarf Mines later on. So we probably don't want this. 4 damage to any target and 3 damage up to 2 other targets for a very expensive 7 mana red. Let's start on the other side though. 1 damage to each opponent. Each opponent discards a card and then puts the top card of their library into the graveyard. You gain 1 life. That beats any 1 mana that does just 1 damage. This Fervent Champion doesn't seem like anything. This 1 mana Amass doesn't synergize. This buff doesn't do anything. 3 damage to creature while flying or destroy an artifact. No. When this one attacks, it deals 1 damage. That does something. This does 2 damage. This does 1 damage to each player. This deals 3 damage to a target opponent and makes him discard 2 cards. Okay. This one deals 1 damage to any target. This one we can get rid of. This one deals 2 damage to target and gains life. This one does 2 damage divided. So a slightly tighter control and easier to play spell than this, but this gives you life. So we'll have to think about that. Dreadhold Arcanist. Whenever he attacks, you may cast target instant sorcery with converted mana less than or equal to this power. But his power is only 1, so you would have to really buff this guy up to cast any good spells. So that's not good. Here's a 2 mana where you sacrifice the creature to do 2 damage to any target. That's not really worth it. This destroys just a target artifact. 3 damage and scrying might be worth it. Pack Mastiff is just a buff card, so we can get rid of that. 3 damage. And exile 7 dwarfs with 7 other creatures. Destroys a target for target and buff. Target player discards a card. 1 damage to target opponent for 2 mana. 1 damage, but then more when it dies. Sacrifice a creature to deal 2 damage to target opponent. Whenever Bone Crusher Giant becomes the target of a spell, we don't need that. 1 damage to each opponent. And then untaps when there's a knight. But this still untaps normally too. Here we go. This is the card that buffs when you do other damage. Discard a card and draw a card. I'm not sure we're going with a discard a card, draw a card strategy. This is a 3 mana for 1/2 with double strike. I don't think we need that. This has spectacle to deal 3 damage to any target. Red mana. This is another one that buffs. +1/+1 and double strike. Sounds like a fun idea. 1 damage. So Heraldic Banner. 3 damage to any target and gain 3 life for 3, that's, or 4, that's pretty good. Baked into a pie. Deal 1 damage. I'm at 117 still. Get rid of that. Destroy a land, and they can't block for this turn. Let's get rid of one of those at the very least. Let's get rid of that. I think we probably can't afford to have a 5 mana black. This does 5 damage to a target creature, but and 3 damage, that might be too expensive. Whereas this does 6 damage. Get rid of that. That's not synergizing. A 7. Okay. So we are at now 110 cards out of 60. How, geez, how do we have so many cards still? And it's not like we have a lot of synergy here either. So that's pretty good. This is just a 1 attack, does 1 damage creature, so let's get rid of those. This just does 2 damage. Let's get rid of those. This one can do damage without having to attack, so we'll keep that. This one has them discard. This one does 1 damage when it dies, so I think we could probably get rid of that because that's not that useful. That one heals. This one is targeted damage. This one's scry, so we'll get rid of that. This one allows you to do damage to a planeswalker and exile it, which is probably better than you'd think. This one is too expensive, so we'll get rid of that. This one's probably too expensive. This one again, deal combat damage. It gets a counter. So I guess if you got it on the field really early. Each opponent That's not bad. Definitely want that. 3 damage with spectacle for 1 red. Might be better than some of the other 2 damages that we've had. So, how many skewer the critics could we get? 3. So, let's see. One of those. This sucks. This really sucks. Like, we've got these high damage spells, and I don't think that's really what we want. Like a 7 mana character is too expensive. I think it's pretty obvious you have to get rid of at least 5 more of these. So there's only that. That gets you down to 92. And swamp-wise, actually, I guess I don't need anywhere as many, so let's go down to like 6. And because we can 6 plus this would be 10 blacks. We really only need 5 at, well, 2 plus 3 other things. So yeah, focus more on the red mountains. So 6, I'm gonna kind of even dare to go down to 4 and synergize that. But man, this is tough. Deals damage and gains 1 life. Deals damage to each player. That's not as good. How many of these can we have? Deals 3 damage to target opponent, then they discard 2 cards. How many of these can we have? 2. Deals 2 damage. And so let's just get rid of the control option. Be nice if some of these were creatures. This exiles and does 3 damage for 2. It's these 7 dwarves that are the main problem. I don't know if this really is worth keeping. I don't know if that's really worth keeping. For 3. It's probably not keeping. Yeah. Let's get rid of those. Sacrifice a character to do 2 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. But 3 red mana we're spending on this, deal 4 damage instead. We can do that. 1, 2. There. What was that? Oh, that's craft all. I don't want that. We only have 1 uncaged fury anyways. I think you can only have one of these in your field on the field at one time, but apparently you can have multiple in your hand. So you can only do one of those anyways. Let's see. We only have one of those. I don't think Vindictive Vampire works because I don't think we have too many minions. And some of this probably not as useful as it seems. Yeah, this is probably too expensive. A lot of this is really just going to be 100% spells. Okay, 85. So we have 15 more cards we need to get rid of. Let's see. So, how are we gonna do this? If we got rid of these, then we couldn't get the swamp lands that we needed, or the mountains that we needed. So the only real thought would be to get rid of 6 mountains. Or get it down to 6 mountains. And then that leaves us with 21 cards still. So, what do we have a lot of that we need to get rid of? Let's get some of these cards down to just 1. And yeah, I think that's what this has got to be, is we've got to just test out the cards and see how well they actually are. How worth playing they are. So with the exception of a couple of things, we've got everything down. These seven dwarves. If I got rid of all of them, that would solve the problem right there. Okay. So then it comes down to, we've got to just get 1, 2 of these gone. And 4 more things. This. This. and this. Okay. Or this, and that. That was an incredible struggle. An incredible struggle to build that deck in an entire hour. Let's see, and we have a Wednesday Brawl. Play a game of Standard with no long. Alright, select deck. Seems like we can play this. And then edit the deck. And then say done. Why can I only edit the deck? What's not allowed? Jeez. What? Come on. Wednesday Brawl. Select deck. Come on, game. Explain to me what you want me to do. Let's see. Play a game of Standard built around legendary characters or planeswalkers. So, alright. Then it probably is easier just to make a deck. Standard. Done. That didn't do anything. You know what? Standard. Let's just put a cat in here. And then do that. Alright. Didn't I build? Like, the first week of Brawl explained this way better. There you go. Wednesday Brawl. Here. A legendary creature or planeswalker. Okay, so this new deck. Edit. Just go ahead and remove that. Alright, so filter. What we want is a planeswalker, I guess. Alright. And then alright, so how can we do this? Jeez, it shouldn't be this hard. It shouldn't be this hard to just jump into the Wednesday Brawl. Clone that deck. And then edit this deck. And then throw in a planeswalker. It is either red or black. There we go. Meanwhile, we'll do that. And we'll just call this Brawl. Alright, so play Wednesday Brawl with a Brawl deck. Adjustment options, change deck layout. Well, that's interesting. I don't know if that helps anything. Learn more.
Welcome to my humble home. Here's just a few of the many resources out there. It's jam-packed with expert information and strategy. And you can always replay the tutorial.
This is the little spark that we've not done anything with. It was way easier. Play a game with a standard deck built around a legendary creature or planeswalker. How is this not a standard deck with a planeswalker in it? Let's see. Standard would be Throne of Eldrin or this with a planeswalker, which we'll put that in. We already had one of those in. Okay. Rest of these all seem like they would be standard, but I guess maybe they aren't. Guess it really depends on... See, all these little logos are the problem. It's like, which of these logos are not standard anymore? Yeah, I don't... Alright. So then filter now out from the planeswalkers into anything. And just gotta find 10 cards and hope that that's the thing that fixes this. Wow, we're not, at this rate, not going to even really have enough time to play a game. Alright, so these are Throne of Eldrin cards, so I can put those back in. There you go, $7. That solves our problem pretty easily. Alright, now, Brawl. Done. Home. Select deck. Brawl. I think this is just glitched. Unless you need to drag it up like that, so that that is the card. Alright, all decks, standard decks, historic, pauper, brawl decks. Okay. Make a brawl deck. Okay. This is insane. That is totally insane that that's how that works, but whatever. This guy's not too bad. And then I just kind of want you to auto-generate some more cards for me, but since you won't do that, let's just... it seems like you can kind of only have one of anything anyways. Well, this is a very different deck. Certainly. Seems almost like you wouldn't be able to play more than one anyways. That's not going to be useful. If you can only play with one of these cards, this is going to be a nightmare. Yeah, these brawls. But the good news is the brawls are free, it seems, now. Where previously the premier event of brawls did seem like they take forever. The premier event created an extra cost. I just want cards. I don't even care what they are. We'll think about making a better brawl deck later. Flying. Heal. I'm just picking things. Then I want to come over to the multicolored sides and get a bunch of lands that would heal too. What happened to my brawl deck for the premiere event? That really must have just not been saved. They must have not had it programmed all the way. Otherwise it would have worked. Let's see. Let's just filter here. Give me the multicolored items. Let's see. One of those. This wasn't really what I was looking for, but come on, just show me multicolored land. Gain life. That's what we're looking for. Gain life. 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 Why there are two white, red? They're just different skins. You can't have the same one twice. Let's see. Gain life. And I guess this is a commander? Or maybe a commander? So, I don't know about what's going on there. Now we want multicolored cards. Take one of those. This one's banned. You can take one of those. You can take that. And might as well take that, I guess. Alright, and then it's just back to the white cards. I really think that there's no strategy here at all. Just need 4 more cards. So just need to keep playing cards. The idea here is pretty obvious, that they want you to just try new things. But they're making you struggle through it a lot. Alright, so I'm going to then delete this one that says Brawl. So this new deck can be renamed Brawl. And now, when we come over here and select this, still can't reroll any of this. Now all of a sudden it's starting to show like, yeah, the other cards here don't work, but this Brawl deck will. Why? What a terrible way to just present it. Like, just awful. Yeah, no cost, no gold, no gems to play Brawls. But you can only play Brawls on Wednesday. So you're pretty much just gonna do it, and I don't know if you even get a reward for playing it. So can I play this at any point? Or or do I want to do something else? Yeah, it's been an hour and 20 minutes of just doing a deck build and figuring out how to make a quick and dirty Brawl deck, which next Wednesday will be out from that point. And like, it's the opponent's turn. I can't do anything. I'm waiting for this guy to play. Next Wednesday we'll think about making a real Brawl deck with a better strategy. It honestly does feel like you run into a lot of scenarios here where the game just stalls because of bad netcode. Stalls right at the beginning. But if they should really integrate that into the matchmaking. So I want to put something on the field, or just do this, and then now now it's going to constantly ask me if I want to sacrifice my Ginger Brute to gain life. He's tapping for mana before he plays. Interesting. Sacrifices 2 lands with Lotus Field. Okay. Interesting. So you have 2 mana that you tapped. You sacrifice those 2 lands. And then it doesn't help him unless he's got 2 mana he's gonna play. Which he doesn't, so I don't know what the idea was there. This guy can be played at any time, but you have to, I think, have the cost. I don't think you can just play him. Otherwise, I would have a 5/5 on the field to start with. Alright. There we go. And then let's go ahead and attack with just that one. This was the Tempting Witch card I thought about adding to the deck. We'll see if he can actually work. Can't attack or block. We could give that to this character. I don't think it really needs it. Or we could just do this. And we can put this on the field. And really we could put this on the field too. Alright, so he conceded, and I think, as far as I'm concerned, for Brawl, that's probably all I need to do for today, because we're not getting anything like a ranked thing here, where you're getting rewards, or anything on that level, and I don't think I'll be doing the draft of War of the Spark. Just Throne of Eldraine, maybe Core 20 drafts, if they ever did that. And a traditional draft? Here would, doing a traditional draft would be 3 games, trying to get to 5 wins, more packs, but it's gems you would be spending, whereas here you can do it up to 7 wins for 2 packs, but you can use gold. So I think you are better just sticking to ranked draft and not doing the others. And I guess they agree, because when we go back to the arena play modes, that's highlighted too. So we played that Brawl. That's fine. That's going to be it for Brawls. And in a weird way, unfortunately, we've got a break up here. So we don't even get to show off our standard rank, which we were going to do with this new deck that we just made, which is this one. I don't know why Dome Destruction Default got moved around. But it did somehow. So yeah, in the next recording, we will play that deck and try it out. As far as daily quests go, it does not seem like we can re-roll. It feels like I either missed a re-roll, or maybe they're going to get rid of re-rolling, or there's only so many re-rolls per week you could do. That doesn't make any sense. It should be you would be able to log in and at least re-roll every day. If I actually played Paper Magic, though, I would buy both of these. Like, these are probably about $50 each for these Planeswalker decks. They probably don't have more than, maybe slightly more than $50 worth of cards if you were going to sell them cards in them. Like, sell every single card in them. But you get that free code, and that free code, I imagine, would then build up Arena. Although, if all that stuff is just going to rotate out, you might be just moving. You'd definitely be moving away from being a free-to-play player at that point. You'd be paying for something that maybe it'll last, maybe it won't, and I'm just not certain there. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. I know when these rebroadcasts, people are going to not like some of these episodes just because it's all deck rebuild. We didn't do so much of that in Hearthstone that I would call in the early days. And if we did do a deck rebuild in Hearthstone, I think my level of understanding about what the cards did was much higher, so it wasn't an hour of looking at every single card. But then we did have those expansion videos when the new expansion came out, where we looked at every card, and that did tend to take a while. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.